Hello, Samuel. I put in the money for this month's living expenses. Make sure not to waste it, okay? I used to call my son Samuel at the end of each month to confirm the transfer. Being a boy, I thought contacting him too often might annoy him. Still, I wanted to hear his cheerful voice at least once a month. Thanks for the $15 support every month. I'm eating baked potatoes every day. What? I transfer $1,500 a month to you every month. Huh? We both tilted our heads at each other's words. According to my bank book, I had transferred the usual $1,500 to Samuel's account. Yet why did Samuel think it was only 1/100th of that amount? $15 can't do much, can it? But Mom, your company's having a tough time, right? What are you talking about? This year's performance has been the best ever. I'm even thinking about increasing the support money. Samuel was, surprised by my words. Where did he hear that my company was in trouble? I got angry as I thought about finding out who told him that. Samuel, I'll definitely sort this out for you. I hung up the phone to go to Samuel. I planned to go to the police after picking up Samuel. It must be him. I won't forgive him. My name is Aaliyah, a 49-year-old single mother, divorced from my husband Jeremiah during pregnancy. Since then, I've raised my eldest son Samuel alone. Fortunately, my family's business allowed me to work and study hard to take over. Thanks to that, our life was stable, and Samuel never lacked anything despite having only one parent. Samuel has always been very diligent, a bit careless, but always had top grades. When my father fell ill during his elementary school years, Samuel began studying hard to become a doctor. He got into a prestigious medical school, top of his class. I was ready to pay for college, but Samuel's efforts led to a tuition waiver, which was a financial relief. I was so proud that my son had worked hard and achieved such results. The university was about 2 hours by train from home, and to make it easier for him, I decided to let him live alone near the university, using the saved tuition money. By chance, there was a student dormitory, which we contracted. It housed students from various universities, and Samuel was looking forward to moving in. The dormitory had a rule that parents couldn't enter, and the moving in was helped by existing residents. It was part of their community building, the manager said, so I shouldn't worry. Not being able to see his room was a bit sad, but I accepted it as part of his independence. For a few days after he started living alone, Samuel regularly contacted me. But after a week, his messages became scarce, and after a month, I hardly got any replies. He must be busy with his new life and studies. After all, no news is good news, and he would surely contact me if needed, so I decided to wait and see. Samuel contacted me about a week before Christmas break. He talked about enjoying his classes, starting a part-time job, and being busy every day, and that he would come home for Christmas. Hearing Samuel's lively voice, I felt relieved. Then Samuel asked, "Can I bring a friend home when I come for Christmas?" Apparently, it was a boy from the same dormitory who had nowhere to go during Christmas. "Why don't you just come over to our place?" So Samuel invited him. Considering Samuel was always a bit shy, he must have really hit it off with this boy. I readily agreed without any objection. When I saw the friend Samuel brought home for Christmas, I was speechless. I had imagined someone quiet like Samuel. The boy standing at the doorway had brightly dyed hair and a lot of piercings in both ears. "Yo, welcome." "Ah, Samuel's mom. You're pretty. You must be popular, right?" Oh, maybe." Ignoring my discomfort, Eli, Samuel's friend, entered the house and sat on the living room sofa. His arrogant attitude made me want to say something, but I held back since he was Samuel's guest. During his 3-day stay, Eli often gave Samuel orders. I was worried, but Samuel didn't seem to mind much. "Hey, Samuel, let's go to the arcade." "There's no arcade around here." "That's boring." If it's boring, you can always go back. In these 3 days, I had grown to dislike Eli. Because of Eli's constant presence, I couldn't spend any time with Samuel. Our precious parent-child time was interrupted, and honestly, I just wanted Eli to leave. In the end, Eli stayed not just for 3 days, but until Samuel returned to the dorm, and I couldn't spend any time with Samuel. After returning to the dorm, Samuel's contacts became sparse again. Still, I received a thank you note and brief updates about his life every month, so I believed he was all right since he was an adult. But in spring, unusually in the middle of the month, I got a call from Samuel.
Sorry, I've been busy and couldn't do my part-time job. I can't pay my rent. Could you send me some money?
Is it because of the exams? But I don't approve of overspending. I'll send it this time, but be careful from now on. When I said that,
Really sorry,
Samuel replied in a dispirited voice. It was an unusual trouble for Samuel, so I somehow felt Eli was involved. Hey, is there anything troubling you now?
I'm fine. Thanks as always.
Just don't push yourself too hard.
Got it.
I was concerned about Samuel's lack of spirit, thinking he might be upset about his first financial trouble. Then, at the end of the next month, I called Samuel. Hello, Samuel. I put in the money for this month's living expenses. Make sure not to waste it, okay? I used to call my son, Samuel, at the end of each month to confirm the transfer. Being a boy, I thought contacting him too often might annoy him. Still, I wanted to hear his cheerful voice at least once a month.
Thanks for the $15 support every month. I'm eating baked potatoes every day.
What? I transfer $1,500 to you every month.
Huh?
We both tilted our heads at each other's words. According to my bank book, I had transferred the usual $1,500 to Samuel's account. Yet why did Samuel think it was only 100th of that amount? $15 can't do much, can it?
But Mom, your company's having a tough time, right?
What are you talking about? This year's performance has been the best ever. I'm even thinking about increasing the support money. Samuel was by my words. Surprised. Where did he hear that my company was in trouble? I got angry as I thought about finding out who told him that. Samuel, I'll definitely sort this out for you. I hung up the phone to go to Samuel. I planned to go to the police after picking up Samuel. It must be him. I won't forgive him. I took a taxi from the nearest station and stopped near the dormitory. Then I called Samuel and secretly asked him to come out. Make sure no one sees you.
Why?
Just do it. Samuel seemed unconvinced, but still kept his promise and snuck out of the dorm. As he turned the corner and approached the car, I almost screamed.
Mom, it's been a while.
Samuel, what happened to you? Your body? He was supposed to be healthy at Christmas, but now in front of me stood Samuel, reduced to just skin and bones. What on earth happened? I hesitantly asked Samuel. Samuel, you've lost so much weight. What happened? At first, Samuel said,
It's nothing.
But gradually he started telling me about his situation.
Mom, after coming back from the break, you sent me a new bank book, right? Since then, the support's been $15, hasn't it? It was tough, but Eli said you were closing the company when I visited, so I thought you were struggling.
I was shocked to hear that. I had no memory of talking about such a thing when Samuel was home. My company had its best performance this year. There's no plan to close it. And there was something else in Samuel's story that bothered me. Hey, what new account?
Huh?
That's right. I hadn't opened a new account since Samuel was born, and I've been depositing $1,500 into the same account every month. I had a bad feeling. Samuel, let's go to the police.
Police? Why?
The money I've been sending you might have been stolen. When I said that,
No way.
Samuel's eyes widened in disbelief. But then he seemed to have an idea.
Could it be?
I guess Samuel's suspicion was probably right. The thought of what Samuel was going through pained me. But whoever did this to him had to be held accountable. Driver, please take us to the nearest police station. The taxi started moving at my request. The driver, having overheard our conversation, kindly took us to the largest police station in the city. When we arrived, I entered the police station supporting Samuel. Samuel, who used to be in sports teams and was always careful with his diet, now seemed lighter than me. I felt tears welling up as I walked with him. At the police station, a young male officer attended to us, listened to both our stories, and first offered words of comfort.
You've done well to cope with such a tough situation.
Hearing this, Samuel burst into tears.
There have been similar complaints from a student dormitory in this area.
Really? The officer said that in the last month, about 3 families had made similar complaints, and they all pointed to one person as a suspect. That person wouldn't happen to be Eli Rodriguez, would it? The officer sighed and nodded at my words. Samuel was looking down beside me. He must have been hoping it wasn't true, despite his suspicions. I placed my hand on Samuel's back and looked at the officer. Is there an investigation underway? The officer thought for a moment and then led us to a private room. He asked us to file a report. Of course, I agreed and immediately filled out the report. After submitting it, the officer in charge sat down with us to discuss the ongoing investigation. Eli was acting like a contact person, befriending the victims to obtain their bank account details and PINs. Then someone else would withdraw the money. And they suspected that the money was being received by a certain man, currently under investigation. I was shocked when I saw the photo they showed me. I know this man.
Really?
The officer looked surprised. I took a deep breath to calm my racing heart, and then started talking about the man in the photo. Jeremiah Rodriguez, right? He's my ex-husband and Samuel's father.
My dad?
Yes, the man in the photo was Jeremiah, my ex-husband. Our divorce was due to financial issues and infidelity. After the divorce, I lost contact with him and never received child support. I thought it was better not to let him influence Samuel, so I never tracked him afterward, but I never imagined he would be involved in criminal activities. I turned pale. So Samuel had been deceived out of money by both his close friend and his biological father. Samuel stood frozen, unable to speak from shock.
We've also established that Jeremiah Rodriguez and Eli are father and son.
What? Eli had said he was Samuel's age when we met. The dormitory where Samuel stayed was strict about identity verification, so that was probably true. But if it was true, it meant Jeremiah had an affair and fathered another child while I was pregnant. Even though I no longer had feelings for Jeremiah, the revelation was a shock.
Eli and I are brothers?
Samuel seemed overwhelmed by the shocking truth. I was speechless at the unexpected truth.
Sorry, we need a bit of your cooperation.
It's fine. I'll do anything to catch those two. Samuel nodded in agreement, albeit faintly. Following the police's instructions, we decided to act accordingly. I secretly returned Samuel to the dormitory, and I stayed in a nearby economy hotel. The next day, I waited for the right moment when Eli was around and called. "Hello, Samuel. How are you?" Samuel, claiming to be washing dishes, deliberately put the phone on speaker. I realized Eli must be nearby. "I got some extra income, so I'll deposit it into your account. Use it wisely."
Got it, thanks.
Samuel ended the call. I stopped the IC recorder I had with me. Then I transferred $10,000 into an account in Samuel's name. The next morning, Samuel checked his internet banking and sent the evidence to the police. After a stop, I went to the dormitory with the police. We explained the situation to the dorm manager, who immediately led us to Eli's room. Pressing the doorbell, we heard loud footsteps approaching.
Hey, Who's there? Oh, what? Eli opened the door abruptly and froze. Seeing me and the police officer, he was baffled as to why we were there in a restricted area. Eli seemed truly clueless. I smiled at the confused Eli. Long time no see, Eli. I'm Samuel's mother. Samuel's mom here for me? And with the police? Eli glanced at Samuel beside me and seemed to realize why we were there. We have a warrant, and we'll be conducting a search now. Got to go out. So sorry. Some other time. Eli tried to close the door quickly in response, but the police didn't allow it. The two officers forced the door open, and the search began, almost immediately. Found it, we heard. Eli's shoulders slumped in resignation. Samuel and I entered the room. Multiple bank books and cards were laid out on the table, each with different names. Seeing this made my head ache. The police, with practiced efficiency, arranged them by name and took photos. What? How'd you find out, Samuel? Did you set me up? I thought you were a friend. You laughed inside while I suffered. It's not what you think. There's a reason for this. Eli tried to make excuses, but Samuel showed no reaction. Eli looked frustrated, almost ready to lash out. That's when I spoke up. Swindling money from your half-brother? How low can you get? Half-brother? Who are you talking about? You and Samuel. Eli froze at my words. Given that they targeted students, they must have shared the pre-investigation info with Jeremiah. My family business is unique, so Jeremiah would have easily identified Samuel as my son. No way. It's true. Jeremiah Rodriguez is my ex-husband and Samuel's real father. Seems like he was having an affair, and you were born from that relationship. Eli sat down, stunned. The police had informed me that Eli had a sickly younger sister. After divorcing me, Jeremiah quickly remarried his affair partner. But she didn't want a boy, so Eli was neglected. After she gave birth to a girl, Jeremiah and the woman divorced. The daughter was expensive due to her treatment, so she stayed with her mother, and Eli was taken by Jeremiah. Regularly, Eli visited his sister and gave their mother money for the treatment. Hearing this, I realized the significance of the sibling relationship to Eli. My suspicions seemed to be confirmed. I exploited my own brother? With those words, Eli was taken away by the police. Samuel and I went to the police station and were shown only the bank books related to us among those seized. According to the investigation, Eli had been getting victims drunk or going shopping with them, checking their pens at ATMs, and then stealing their bank books, cards, and IDs when visiting their rooms. His visit during Christmas was to check if my family was wealthy. He then set up new accounts, transferred the money from the original accounts, withdrew it all, and deposited only a small amount into the new accounts. That explained why the bank book entries never matched up with my expenditures. I sighed in understanding. Eli quickly named Jeremiah as his accomplice, and by the next evening, Jeremiah was also arrested. I went to the police and shared everything about Jeremiah's past actions. Later, I decided to visit Jeremiah. Samuel wanted to come, but I asked to go alone this time, and he waited outside. Jeremiah, whom I hadn't seen in 20 years, had aged, but still had his condescending attitude. Wow, what a mess. Got carried away, huh? He spoke nonchalantly with no sign of remorse. I had to suppress my anger. I forced a calm smile. How pitiful. Lost at the casino, you see. Well, I'll just call my parents and get out of here soon. He responded, as if making small talk. I slapped a piece of paper in front of him. His face changed color. Hey, what's this about? Oh, I told your parents everything about you. Jeremiah's parents, Ruby and Nicholas, were sensible people. Even after our divorce, we kept in touch. They said they felt too ashamed to meet Samuel until Jeremiah was found. They had never met Samuel,
but I never missed sending them updates with photos. When I told them I was visiting you, they asked me to bring this.
You know what this is? It's a disownment letter.
Jeremiah confronted me through the glass. I replied calmly to him. You, who ran off to a woman and cut all contact, wouldn't understand their struggles. They've been patient, wanting to meet their grandson Samuel, but they decided to wait until your disgrace was settled.
You should have let them meet.
Don't you dare say that after all your running away. My voice raised, and a police officer in the room cautioned me to calm down.
Calm down, please,
he warned. I took a deep breath to settle my heart. Anyway, now Ruby and the others can finally meet their grandson. Oh, and about Eli.
What about Eli? He's got nothing to do with you.
He says he never wants to see you again. He doesn't want anything to do with a father who exploits his half-brother. Ruby said she would take him in.
What? Without him? How am I supposed to live from now on?
Jeremiah's pathetic tone made me unintentionally laugh. I don't know. Maybe work can pay off your debts.
Aaliyah, it's about us, right? Help me out.
Oh, what a funny thing to say. Our relationship ended 20 years ago. I answered with the biggest smile of the day, leaving Jeremiah with a look of despair. I left the visitation room feeling refreshed, ignoring Jeremiah's protests. After that, several other crimes committed by Jeremiah came to light, and he received a prison sentence. He's not expected to be released for at least 5 years, giving us some peace of mind. Eli, having acted under orders, received probation. He's now being strictly re-educated under the care of my former in-laws, in a remote, entertainment-free location, which seems to be tough on him. Eli had been gathering money for his sister's complicated surgery. However, Jeremiah had squandered that money. Despite his desire for entertainment, Eli is repeatedly admonished by my former in-laws. Samuel, initially confused, focused on his studies to become a doctor, successfully earning his credits and nearing the time to apply for a specialized graduate program. As for me, my company grew even more, enabling me to increase my support for Samuel. I was unexpectedly proposed to by someone who has been supporting me in the company. I'm currently keeping the proposal on hold. The person has been close to Samuel since he was a child, and it was Samuel who suggested accepting the proposal.
Rather than dating, why not just get married?
Samuel suggested, impressing me with his understanding of my character. You know my personality well. I was a little impressed. However, with Samuel's upcoming internships and exams, expenses will increase. For now, I'm focusing on supporting Samuel's journey to becoming a doctor. Then, I'll think about my own future.